Hey guys, I wanted to jump on here real quick. This is not going to be like a super put together video, but I noticed that, it's the weekend and there's a lot of players, and I assume a lot of sort of newer players as well. They're trying my build and they're finding that Ward and Berserk degen is very, very difficult to deal with, and it's kind of hard concepts to understand. So I decided to work quickly to put together a 7 divine budget Glacial Bolt build that you can still clear most content with. You can clear 200 Delirium, although slower, as you can see in the showcase here. This is going to be an armor and HP based build, which should be a lot more familiar with newer players. I have dropped Megalomaniac and the Prism because those items go up in price and can scare a lot of new players. Obviously, those items give a lot of power, so you can extend the build, but this is meant to be like a base where you can just spend a few divines, buy everything, and then jump into a map like a regular T15 map or like a regular Delirium map and an Abyss, and just kind of blast everything, and just to kind of get started, and not be so worried about like Ward and degen. We do still have Berserk in this build, but I have opted to go for way more regeneration than needed, so that if you were to copy the tree directly, you should be able to sustain your Berserk just fine. Okay, so jumping into the gear, I'll have the shopping list on the left side, and those links are basically like screenshot proofs of the prices that I bought the items for, just so that you have a reference point. But essentially, we'll just go real quick. Start off with the crossbow. You can buy any crossbow with no attack speed and no crafted modifiers. I would recommend around 750 DPS, and then all you would do is buy Perfect Essence of Battle, and slam it with the Dextral, with the Omen of Dextral Crystallization. This should cost you around 1 divine or 2 divine, and remember the quality, and use these runes. If the crossbow is mostly physical, then just use Rune of the Hunt, or if the crossbow is mostly elemental, then just use Rune of the Hunt instead. Alpha's Hall, try and get one with increased life regeneration. If not, there's plenty of regen on the tree, so that I've already added in, so you should be fine. But it's not much more expensive. Usually it's like a corruption that people don't really want, so it should be among the cheapest Alpha Halls. Make sure to get one that's 100 spirit at least. The amulet plus 2 projectile, I've also managed to remove the spirit on the implicit, which jacks up the price a lot. So we just need any old amulet with like ideally 50, but 45 to 50 spirit. HP is nice, and then plus 2 projectile skills. Okay, the Mora Invictus. You need one with HP, spirit, and resistances. It can be chaos or it can be spirit. I bought this for about I think in my screenshot it was 1 divine, but typically they're around a few, like maybe 200 exalt to 2 divine, kind of under a div or 2 div. Get one with 4 sockets because they're a lot more affordable, and then you want to do Fox Idol, which is our most expensive augment, and Panther Idol. Those 2 are really important because Panther Idol will help you with chaos resistance, and your armor applies to chaos damage, and then Fox Idol is just really, really good for Gemling. And then you can get more regen on your body if you needed. If not, go for HP. We're running Venter's Gamble. So yeah, Spirit, try and get 20, but 15 is fine. My setup has 12 leftover Spirit, so it's much more forgiving, and it should feel a lot less tight. The other ring, just try and get flat damage, but the most important things are HP and then capping out your resistances. And then we're actually using a rare belt this time. Cold, whatever resistances you need, but most importantly, you want an armor implicit and an armor prefix, and ideally a T1 armor prefix, because we're kind of simulating like a low budget mage blood where, instead of Granite giving you 2,000 armor, we're getting still a respectable 500 something armor. So that's That's what we're doing, and then we get HP and resistances to boot as well. So this is a big piece of your defense, even though we don't really think about belts, rare belts like that usually. Painter Servant, just get one that is balanced in elemental damage, so 999%. It can be like 898, but don't stray too far from like all three numbers. Make sure they're like similar. And then the boots, you want to slam spirit on this if you need spirit. Like I said, my setup has 12 less spirit, so maybe if you get a better Venters, you might not even need to do that. But to slam spirit, you just need a Mystic Alloy. And it might take you a few tries to not ride over like one of your important resistances, but or you could buy one with like an open suffix. The most important stat here is the armor applies to elemental damage. You want 40% if you can. And then move speed, life, etc. I'm not using any expensive charms, just kind of whatever. And then, yeah, we talked about the runes. And then I've also taken out all the expensive lineage support gems as well. So we're not using for around a siege. We actually did take out magnified area because at such a budget, you kind of need more damage. And then we have mobility because we are using adaptive capability, not the gem studded. Yeah, and you want to make sure that your gems are balanced out. You have at least 10, not balanced out, but at least 10 strength and 10 dexterity gems. The tree, yeah, so we're taking adaptive capability, so we have a lot more flexibility in our stats now, so that is also another layer of making things easier. Because we have adaptive, we take elemental weakness, and that should help you with bosses a lot. The tree is pretty similar. Like I said, I'm not even using jewels right now. Yeah, I'm not using jewels right now. I'm not using Megalomaniac or Prism, so there's a lot more power that you can squeeze out of this build. This is just kind of a baseline for like the newer players who don't want to invest a lot right now just to test out the build. Yeah, I've got a lot more life regen on the tree just because some folks have felt like, oh, you know, I'm kind of like on the edge of like degenning or not degenning. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Speaking of skills, we're able to fit in Arctic Armor. This is a very important aura with as a Gemling because we get 31% increased armor per stage, and we get 4 stages at even with our lower quality and no Paragon. We are running Berserk, but you should have more than enough life regen. And if you don't, you can get this Sanguimatic Rituals, which is 1 divine. So if you have a little bit more budget, this will help you a lot. Regenerate 1% maximum life per second. So you could add that in, but the setup should be good for you to not degen, and you can kind of like copy and paste it. We are armor and life based, so should be pretty familiar for you guys, especially for the newer players. So you don't have to mess with the ward. You just use your life flask when you get low. Yeah. I'm not gonna say that like this is like gonna one shot 200% delirium. Like I still take some time to work through the 200% delirium, but it's just kind of a it's 7 divine. It's super cheap. So with no prisms, so it's just kind of a starting point. I know it's a weekend. There's a lot of like sort of different players, like hardcore players, casual players playing. So because of the Mage Blood video, I got a lot of comments saying, hey, like I don't have a Mage Blood. I hate ward. So this should be a good setup for you guys. Yeah, I just wanted to jump on and kind of show you guys. It's like 3 a.m. here, but I just thought it was important for all the people who play on the weekend, who try my build. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and then we can kind of extend this build, this variant a little bit more. I'll have everything in my MOBA. I'll have the shopping list. So let me know how it goes. See you guys.